In this video, I'm going to show you how to take a 52 gig 4K UHD video and shrink it all the way down to 4.2 gig with almost no quality loss. That's a reduction of 92%. That's right folks, this is the one you've been waiting for. Welcome to the Webernets Ultimate 4K Handbrake Compression Guide. Once you make MKV file from your 4K source disk, open up Media Info and drop it in. You can see here my source file is about 52 gigs in size. It has 8 audio tracks and 11 subtitle tracks. The bitrate for the video is a massive 43 megs for every second of video. We're going to reduce that significantly. You can also see that the video is in HDR, which means high dynamic range. This is something we'll have to pay attention to a bit later. Close out of Media Info and open up Handbrake. Drop your source file in. Now, before we get started, I just want to warn you, this will take a long time. Your source video is over 50 gigs. That's a massive amount of data to process. As I've said before, video encoding is a trade-off between quality and time. Good quality takes time. And, as always, I recommend setting up your encode and letting it run while you are asleep. You will find yourself on the Summary tab. MP4 is selected by default, but as we're going to be including PGS subtitles, let's change this to MKV. You can leave pass-through common metadata checked if you want to retain this information. Now move on to the Dimensions tab. Leave cropping set to automatic, set the resolution limit to 2160p 4K Ultra HD and leave anamorphic set to automatic. Make sure the borders are set to none. These settings will remove black bars from the picture, allowing for a greater reduction in output file size. Next, it's on to the Filters tab. Leave interlace detection, deinterlace and preset at the default. Now, remember when we were looking at the file in Media Info, we saw that it is an HDR10 file. This means high dynamic range. And if your media player and TV can handle HDR, the picture will look a great deal better. However, not all systems can handle these types of files. Before you waste time encoding the whole movie only to find it won't play, copy out a 2 to 3 minute slice and encode that as a test. I've made an article that shows you how to do that for free. I will leave the link down below in the description. If your system can handle HDR, leave color space set to off. If your system can't handle HDR, change the color space to BT.709. This will allow your 4K UHD video to play on non-HDR capable systems. Now, it's on to the Video tab. Set the video encoder to H.265 10-bit and change frame rate to same as source. We also want to select constant frame rate. Set the encoder preset to slow, and remember, good encodes take time. Leave encoder tune at none and set profile to main 10 and the level to 5.1. Select constant quality and drag the slider to 24. For advanced options, there is additional info we can enter here to further fine-tune the encode. I have left this code in the description for this video, and you can also find it in the full article for this video at thewebernets.com. On to the Audio tab. Every disc will have different audio tracks. If your system can specifically handle 7 or 8 tracks, you can select that here and pass it through. Keep in mind, this will affect the file size greatly. For most systems, 5.1 gives a fantastic result and offers the greatest compatibility. So for this encode, I will select AC3 5.1. We aren't going to choose pass-through though. We can still save a bit more space by compressing it. Set the codec to AC3, Set the bitrate to 448, mix down to 5.1 and the sample rate to 48. Next up, subtitles. This disc has a number of subtitles to choose from. It even has 2 English tracks. The reason for this is that generally the first English track will be the subtitles for the whole movie. The second one is subtitles for the non-English parts only. For this encode, let's include both. Select the first English PGS track and unselect Force Only and Burn In. This will allow you to turn the subtitles on and off as you desire. To include the second English track, click Tracks and select Add New Track. Now you can select the second English track in the drop-down menu and again uncheck Forced Only and Burn In. This will allow you to also turn this track on and off as needed. If you want to burn these subtitles into the movie so they are always there, select Burn In for the track you want to keep. By doing this, the subtitles will always be shown and can't be turned off. Next is the Chapters tab. This should be checked by default. Chapter markers don't take up much space and can be useful on some systems, so leave this checked. Okay, now we can return to the Summary tab and see a brief overview of our settings. At this point, I would like to suggest that if you find this video useful, please consider subscribing to my channel and give this video a like. Now, make sure you give the output file a unique name and save it in a location that is easy to find, like your desktop. If you are happy with everything, you can now press the Start Encode button and leave Handbrake to do its thing. Okay, you can see my encode is finished and I now have a new file on the desktop. Close out a Handbrake and open Media Info to see how we did. You can see that we managed to shrink that 52 gig file down to 4.2 gig. That's a huge space saving, over 90%. We also got the bitrate down to 3.6 megs per second. We have an AC3 soundtrack and kept our 2 preferred English subtitle tracks. This is a much more manageable file size and it will save a great deal of space on your server. Now you can sit back and relax and enjoy the show. Thanks for watching, and if you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. See you in the next one.